So now we start with windmills. So we're gonna bring those legs out nice and wide. And then we're just gonna come down toward the inside of your foot. And then butt squeeze back up to the top, stretching out the back of those legs. Keeping the weight back in those heels each time you reach down. Awesome, last two. And then I'm gonna have you come into some monkey squats. So for this one, you're gonna bend forward, keeping your feet about hip width apart. We're gonna reach for your toes. Then you're gonna sit down as low as you can, maintaining some of that pull on your toes, and then straighten out your legs. So every time you sit, you still wanna keep the weight back in your heels. As you stand, the more you pull on your toes, the more of a stretch you make along the back of your legs, as well as your upper back and shoulders. Try to inhale as you sit, exhale as you stand. We're gonna try 3 more in here. Keep getting that nice big stretch. 2. Awesome. And then let yourself just hang and dangle for a second. You can let go of your toes. And then let your head go side to side, like you're saying no. And then gently nod your head like you're saying yes. And then slowly roll up, making your head the last one to come up. Perfect. And then we put your hands on your hips. We're gonna go into some hip openers. Bring the leg up and around to the side. Usually after the weekend, we're a little bit tighter. Just wanna make sure we get all of those cracks and popples out all the way from top to bottom. We're gonna try the other side, bring that leg up and around. 3, 4, 5. And then I'm gonna have you come into a squat touchdown, bringing those feet a little bit wider than hip width. We're gonna sit all the way down, touch the ground. Exhale, reach all the way up, butt squeeze. So then we're gonna have our progressive sets. So we're gonna go through a couple different exercises in a circuit fashion. And then each time we start the circuit over, I'm gonna progress the exercise, making it a little bit harder. If you're not ready to progress, you won't have to. Awesome, try one more here, sing that nice and low. And then butt squeeze, and then we're gonna come into a standing march. This one, we're gonna start to pick up the pace so we can start to warm up for our cardio moves. Awesome. Bring that knee up towards chest. Exhale every time you bring that leg up, squeezing through the core and abdomen. Last 5. 3, 2. And then we're gonna pick this up for more of a jog. Moving those feet a little bit quicker. Knees don't have to come up as high. We'll still use those arms. Awesome job, staying nice and light those toes. And then in 3, we're gonna pick it up for a side shuffle Heisman. So we're gonna go to the side, knee raise, to the side, knee raise, 1, 2, 3, shuffle. And then Heisman, Heisman. Awesome. Starting to work on that lateral movement. Let's try to get a couple more each way. Nice little shuffle to the side. Driving that leg back up. And we got 3, 2. Then we're gonna meet it back in the middle, keeping those legs nice and wide. We're gonna sit to the side for our side lunge. Keep our hands up in prayer so we can really focus on sticking back through our hips and keeping our chest above our hips. Weight in the heel of that lunging leg. Butt squeeze up to the top. Last 2 each direction. 2, 1, 2. Then have you grab one leg back for quads. Doing our best to keep those knees together. Working on balance. And then really pulling back on that upward foot to get a nice stretch all the way from knee to hip. Then whenever you switch to the other side, bringing that other leg back. Doing our best to keep the knees together, slightly thrusting the hips forward. To get a stretch also slightly along the inner thigh. Okay, so now that our balance should feel a little bit better, now we do one balancing exercise before we finish with our stretching. So this one, we're going to come down for a single leg touchdown. You can do your best to try to touch down to the ground, but squeeze back up to the top, touch down, and butt squeeze up to the top. We're going to try to get at least 8 on this side, working on our awareness, our core stability, and our balance. It can be challenging first thing in the morning, but it's a good thing to work on before we start more intense movements. Try one more on this side. We're going to switch it over to the other leg, bringing that opposite leg straight back, weight in that heel, butt squeeze up to standing. Find one thing to focus on the ground, and that will help you keep your balance. Awesome, we're halfway done with these. Try one more on this side. Perfect. So we're going to come back into our runner's lunge to bring that first balancing leg forward. And bring the leg that was not balancing straight back. Doing our best to keep that back leg nice and straight. Now we're going to come down forward into that front heel. Bring yourself down towards the ground. And then rotating towards your forward bent leg. Should feel a nice stretch along the outer butt cheek. And your right T-band on that forward leg. Doing our best to continue to drop that hip down. So we get a nice stretch in that hip flexor. Then bring yourself back to the middle. We're going to rotate away from that forward bent leg. Getting a nice stretch along the inner thigh. Opening up the chest as we reach up. Then we're going to bring ourselves down to the middle again. Drop your back knee. We're going to straighten out your front leg to get a nice stretch along your hamstrings. Do your best to push your heel down into the ground as you push your hip back behind you. Pulling your toes in towards your face to intensify that stretch in your calves. Imagine you're bringing your chest down towards your knee. Now we're going to switch over to the other side on that runner's lunge. So bring that opposite leg forward, weighting your heel, straightening out that back leg as much as you can. Then we're going to bring it down towards the inside of your forward foot, keeping that weight in your heel. And rotate towards that forward bent leg. Opening up through the chest, getting a nice stretch in the hip. We're going to bring it back to the middle. Rotate the other direction, still letting that back hip drop. Just pivot on that back foot a little bit if you need to. Then bring yourself back to the middle. We're going to drop that back knee and straighten out your front leg. Last big hamstring stretch, pushing that hip back behind you. Reaching for your toes, gently pulling toes in toward the face. I'm going to take one more big deep breath in here. And then release. Okie dokie. So we're going to start with our core moves. We have 8. So we're going to go through all 8 of these in sequence. We're going to go through twice. And then we're going to start with our progressive sets. So for the first one, I'm going to have you start with leg lifts. Just easy peasy leg lifts. If you're needing to slow this down a little bit, You could always go into one leg drop at a time. Sometimes that's a little bit easier warming up into this movement. Otherwise, do your best to do both legs. Setting up our first set of 30 seconds. In 3, 2, and go. So inhale as we bring those legs down. Exhale as we bring them back up. Holding belly button in nice and tight. Doing our best to keep that low back pressing into the hands. Awesome. We need to do the alternate leg drop. And always just focus on one at a time. Doing your best to keep both pointed up at 45. Last 3, 2, and rest. We're going to do a set of sit-ups. If you're ready to progress your sit-ups and you want to try to make these more challenging now, see if you can keep your legs extended all the way straight out. And try sitting all the way up. Maybe coming right back down. If the straight leg is too challenging, you can always bend your knees and bring the feet underneath your knees. So we're going to set this one up in 3, 2, and go. We're going to exhale, reach up to the sky, and then slowly roll down one vertebra at a time. Inhale as you reach. Drawing belly button in, nice and tight. Awesome. Keep breathing. Almost like we're peeling a sticker off the floor, and then slowly putting it back. Last 5 seconds. See if we get 2 more in here. And rest. Then we're going to stay up in a boat hold position. So we're going to bring our legs up in front of us, keeping those toes pointed up towards the sky, slight bend in those legs. And then start out holding on the back of your knees, making sure you can lean back as much as possible. And then if you're ready, let go of the back of your knees. If you need to keep holding on, you can always keep holding on. You want to focus on lifting up through the chest, squeezing the belly button in. This helps a lot with low back strength and stability. Awesome, keep breathing. Warming up those hip flexors. Last 5, 3, 2, and then drop the legs. We're going to go into our Russian twist. This one, whenever you keep your hands about chest position rather than overhead. If these are starting to get super easy, you can always do these with your legs lifted as well. That can get pretty hard after the boat hold. Again, still lifting up through the chest, exhaling every time you twist, holding belly button in nice and tight. Last 5, 3, 2, and rest. And whenever you lay on your back, feet are going to go about hip width apart. Then we're going to go into our first set of bridges, just lifting all the way up with squeeze, slowly lowering down to hover. 30 seconds here, and go. Pushing through those heels. Inhale as we lower. Exhale as we squeeze those glutes. Bring hips up as high as we can. It's a good opportunity for you to feel one leg feels a little bit tighter than the other. You want to try to make them as even as possible. Still drawing belly button in nice and tight as you bring those hips up. Last 5 of this full range of motion bridge. 2. And on this last one, keep your hips up as high as you can, and then we're just going to hold up in this position and pulse over and over for 30 seconds, clenching those butt cheeks together. Little tiny clench every time you raise those hips up. Still keeping the weight primarily in those heels. Holding belly button in nice and tight, pressing arms firmly into the ground on your sides. Awesome job, keep breathing. Last 5, 3, 2, and lower your hips, hug your knees into your chest. And then we have 2 more moves before we start it all over. First one, we're going to set up in our low plank. So we're going to bring our elbows right underneath our shoulders, pressing back through our heels for 30 seconds. We're just holding still. And hold up in that plank. Pushing back through those heels. Drawing belly button in nice and tight. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. Doing our best to reach our head forward as we push our heels back, lengthening the torso. Awesome job. We got 5, 4, 3, 2, and then rest for a second. This next one's a little bit new, so I'm going to have you stay in your low plank. Then we're going to tap our heels down to the floor, or knees down to the floor, extend all the way back up. Knees come down just to tap, and then extend all the way back up. This is going to be our last 30-second move, and then we're going to start over in those leg lifts. In 3, 2, and go. So it's a very slight motion. You want to inhale as we bend the knees down. Exhale as we extend. This you should feel along your quads. And then a lot in those lower abs. Make sure we still have the hips tucked under. Butt clenching a little bit. Awesome job. Keep breathing. Last 5, 3, 2, and rest. Push your hips back into child's pose if you need to stretch it out. And we're going to start over one more time in those leg lifts. Rolling back over onto our back. Hands underneath that low back. In 3, 2, and go. So we're going to inhale as we lower. Exhale as we bring those legs up. Awesome. Keep breathing. Our stomach will be burning by the end of this round. We're so close, last 5, 3, 2, and rest. We're gonna drop those legs all the way. Try to keep them straight if you can. Last round of sit-ups. Coming all the way up, reaching up. And slowly coming back down. Exhale as we sit up. Inhale as we lower. Drawing belly button in nice and tight. Awesome. Keep breathing. We'll try to get a couple more in here. Last 5, 3, 2, and rest. Woo. We have 30 more seconds of that. We'll hold. Setting up on the sit bones, extending those legs out in front of us. We'll hold on to the back of those knees. And lift it up through the chest. Last 30 seconds here. Just keep breathing. If it's feeling easier to keep the hands extended straight forward, try raising them up overhead. This will be a tiny bit harder, but it makes it a little more functional because you're going to be keeping your chest up and your lower back a little bit more extended. Awesome. Last 5, 3, 2, and then drop those feet. And we have one more set of that Russian twist, keeping hands at the chest, twisting to the side. Exhale and exhale. Keep breathing. Last 30 seconds of these forever. Awesome. Exhale every time we twist. Last 10. 3, 2, and rest. Woo. Give me one more set of those bridges. Last time with both feet pressing up in 3, 2, and go. Big butt squeeze up to the top. Inhale as you recover. Exhale on that butt squeeze. Inhale as you lower. Still pressing those arms further down into the ground to start to engage those triceps, keeping that upper body nice and stable. Awesome. Last 5, 3, 2. You're going to keep those hips up as high as you can. Last 30 seconds of that pulse. Keeping the weight in the heels. Little tiny butt punches every time we raise those hips up. Still drawing belly button in nice and tight. Really focusing on that glute contraction, over and over. Starting to warm up the back of the hips and the butt before we go into all of our squats. Awesome, last 5, 3, 2, and lower those hips. Hug your knees into your chest. Then we have one more set of low planks. First 30 seconds, just holding nice and still. And then that second set in our knee taps. And 3, 2, and hold. Awesome job, pressing elbows into the ground. Keep them right underneath your shoulders. Keep breathing. Awesome job. We're so close. Last time. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. We got 3, 2, and the last one of those knee taps. Bring the knees down to the floor, extending all the way back up. Bring them down, and then extending back up. Still making sure we have those hips back under. So our butt starts to point up in the air. Make sure we squeeze it in. We can just hold that plank. You want to just hold that plank. Awesome. Last 10. Inhale as you tap. Exhale as we extend those legs straight. We got 3, 2, and rest. Woo. Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to show you the first circuit so we know what to expect. And then as we start to go through the circuit again, we'll start to progress. So then I'll just show you the moves as we start to go through. If you need to stay with the first variations, you can always stay there. So for the first one, we're going to need both of your weights. We're not going to do anything with the weights for this first round. They're really just going to stay in your hands or at your shoulders. So the first exercise, we're going to set up for wrap squats. We're going to keep the weights at your shoulders. We're just going to sit down in that squat, but squeeze up to the top. Nothing's happening with the dumbbells. Second one, we're going to keep the weights at your sides. If the weights are too much, you can drop them. We're going to do one set of static lunge. So we're going to come down and then back up, keeping our legs in that split position. Halfway through, I'm going to tell you when to switch. Then we're going to go on to the other leg, coming down and up with good control. And then our third one, or our fourth one, I'm counting each leg as one move. We're going to go into overhead jacks. So we're just going to punch straight up as we move those legs. And then we're going to start the circuit all over, increasing the intensity of each exercise. So now you start first with your rack squats. We're going to set up with the weight at your shoulders, feet about hip width apart. We're going to have 40 seconds of work, 20 seconds of rest. Starting in 3, 2, and go. We're going to come nice and easy into that squat. Pushing back through the hips. We're sitting down in a chair, but squeeze up to the top. This will be our easiest round. Inhale and exhale. If for some reason the weights are too much or we're just warming up still, you can always drop the weights and just focus on your body weight squats. Awesome. And but squeeze at the top. Last 3, 2, and rest. Awesome. And bring those weights down at your sides, like we're holding 2 grocery bags. We'll make sure shoulder blades stay back. Setting up with one leg forward, one leg back. You're going to feel pretty stretched far apart. Setting up our first set of lunges. And go. We're going to lower down into the heel of that front foot. Just barely hovering the knee above the ground. If we need to modify lunges still, you can always stay in the narrow squat, keeping legs squeezing together, and butt squeeze up to the top. Do your best to strengthen the inner thighs in the front of your legs. Last 3, 2, and rest. You're going to switch it over to that other leg, shaking those legs out. Setting up on the heel. In 3, 2, and go. Bring it down. Butt squeeze on that forward leg. Still keeping shoulder blades back and chest forward. Working a little bit on that balance. Just hovering back knee as we come down. Awesome, keep breathing. Last 10 seconds here. 3, 2, and rest. You're gonna set those weights to the side. Check out your arms and your legs. We're gonna set up this first round of overhead jacks. In 3, 2, and go. We're just punching up towards the sky, setting those arms straight up as we move those legs. Getting our arms and shoulders ready for the next round. If we need to slow this down, you can always tap, tap, and tap as we reach the arms up, making sure we're still squeezing belly button in. Awesome, last 10. We got 5, 3, 2, and rest. Perfect. Grab water if you need it. We're gonna start back over with our squats again. This time on your squat, we're gonna be adding a shoulder press. So at the top of your squat, pressing those weights all the way up, then bringing them back down and then coming to our squat. Setting this one up in 3, 2, and go. Pressing hips back, butt squeeze, and press those dumbbells. Inhale to lower, exhale on that press. So full body move. Can be challenging after doing the jumping jacks. So if you need to ever just use one weight, you can always hold one weight at your chest and press up using both hands. Awesome, last 10 seconds. Butt squeeze, and butt squeeze. 3, 2, and rest. Perfect. Okay, this time with our split lunge, we're gonna add a bicep curl at the top of your lunge. So when you're in that full standing extended position. So we're gonna set up first in that lunge position, making sure we have our balance. In 3, 2, and go. So we're gonna lower down into that heel, stand all the way up, and bicep curl. Then bring it back down, stand all the way up, bicep curl. Weight in that forward heel, bicep curl. You're gonna keep our elbows in close, shoulder blades back, and chest forward. Keep breathing. 3, 2, and rest. Here, set up on that other leg. Going into that lunge and curl in 3, 2, and go. Come down, good control. Butt cheek squeeze on that forward leg. Inhale to lower. Exhale to stand. Awesome. Breathing. It's a lot of work on balance. Keeping the weight in that front heel. Nice and light on that back toe. Last 5, 3, 2, and rest. Woo. Then we're gonna set those dumbbells down. Okay, for our next one, we're gonna go into 3 overhead jacks. So 1 touchdown, 3 overhead jacks to 1 touchdown. If that's too much, just stay in the regular overhead jacks. 40 seconds in 3, 2, and go. We have 1, 2, 3, touchdown. 1, 2, 3, touchdown. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. This will help warm us up for our next round. Stretching out that low back. Warming up the legs a little bit more. Perfect. Last 5, 3, 2, and rest. Woo. Okay, our last round is squat to press. I'm gonna grab those weights again. For this last one, at the top of your press, I'm gonna have you also try a balance. Each time you come up from that squat and press, balance on the other leg. If the balance is too much, skip it. Setting this one up at 3, 2, and go. Last time here, let's squeeze, balance, right back down. Let's squeeze and balance. Once you get the motion, you may be able to do it all in one fluid. Press and balance at the same time. Awesome. Making sure we're still pressing back through the heels, sitting back through our hips. See if we get one more on each side. 3, 2, and rest. Woo. Okay, breathe. We have one more set of lunges. This time I'm gonna have you step back in your lunge and then step all the way forward. Curl, we're gonna stay on that same leg. Like for our static lunges, I'll take you halfway when to switch. Setting this last one up in 3, 2, and go. We're stepping back, all the way up to forward, and curl. We need to stay in static lunges. You can always stay in static. Really driving up through that heel, working the glute and hamstring as we come to standing. Awesome. So you can get 2 more on this side. 3, 2, and rest. Take that leg out. We're switching over to the other side. In 3, 2, and go. Last time in the lunge. And curl. Perfect. Stepping back. Coming up to that balance. Let's squeeze on that forward leg. Shoulder blade still squeezing back. Keeping that chest forward. Awesome. We're so close. Last 10. Elbows staying close. 3, 2, and rest. Perfect. Set those weights to the side. You'll need them for one move in our last round. Okay, and then our last set of jacks, I'm gonna have you try 1 overhead jack, 1 plank jack. If that is too much, then you can always stay in the touchdowns, or you can walk it out, tap, tap. Do your jack, walk it out, tap, tap. We're gonna set this last round up in 3, 2, and go. So 1 overhead jack, down to a plank, jack, back up, jack, perfect. Kind of like a burpee, with a little more in between. Keep breathing. Last 10 seconds. 3, 2, and rest. Woo! Okay, grab water. We're all done with that circuit. This next part, we're gonna go onto the floor. We're gonna be on the floor for the whole round. So our first one, we're gonna set up for push-ups. Just regular push-ups, practicing as many as we can from our toes. We're gonna go to our knees, we'll go to our knees. Our second one, we're gonna set up in a bridge, full pressure. So I'm gonna have you first just hold your bridge, both feet stable. As we come down to our slow pressure, it's extending all the way back up. Let's squeeze the whole time. And then our last one, we're gonna set up in a high plank. In our high plank, we're gonna pull one knee into the elbow, cross it over to the other elbow, bring it back into that same elbow, and bring it back. First round, we're gonna stay on that same leg the first round of the circuit, and then I'll tell you when to switch to the other leg, so we're not switching back and forth yet. Okie dokie. So we're gonna set up first for those push-ups in that high plank position. In 3, 2, and go. Inhale as we lower. Exhale as we press up. Inhale. And exhale. Awesome. Let's go down to those knees if we need to. Really focusing on squeezing the chest together as we press up from that push-up. Keeping the hips tucked under. No butts are in here. Last 5, 3, 2, and rest. Woo. Let's try the push-ups done. We're gonna roll it over to that bridge hold, grabbing our weights to keep right above your chest. And then once we're in that high bridge hold, we're gonna bring the weights above your chest, doing our best to keep our elbows in close. We're gonna bend back towards forehead, extend all the way back up, bend back towards forehead, extend all the way up. Perfect. 40 seconds, butt squeezing nice and tight. Inhale as we bend, exhale as we extend up. You should eventually start to feel this in the triceps. We really wanna focus on keeping our wrists nice and neutral, so we're not using our wrists to extend, or we're really just using that muscle right at the back, right above your elbow. Inhale, and exhale. Awesome, these feel really good after push-ups. We're gonna try to get a couple more in here. Let's squeeze. Last 3, 2, and rest. Perfect. Drop those weights, lower your hips. I'm gonna roll those to the side because we'll need them again for our next round. Now we're gonna roll back over into our plank position. I'm gonna have you start on your left leg, because normally that's a little bit harder. So we're gonna set up in that high plank. We're gonna drive our knee in towards our elbow, go across, go back to the elbow, and then straight back, and then repeat again. Setting up in 3, 2, and go. So one knee pull, cross it over, bring it back to elbow, and bring it straight back. Inhale, exhale, inhale. Should be able to get at least 8 on this side. Awesome, good control. Keep breathing. Last couple on this. 3, 2, and rest. Push your hips back for a second. We're gonna go back over onto the right this time. In 3, 2, and go. So we'll pull in towards the same knee, cross, back to elbow, and back here. Elbow, and back. Elbow, cross, elbow, back. Awesome. Squeezing belly button in nice and tight. We're almost there. Last 5, 3, 2, and rest. Woo. Shake out your arms, do what you want to do. Then our next set of push-ups, we're going to try one push-up. Stay on your knees if you need to. We're going to come down at the top. One punch, back down, other side, punch. Just going back and forth in that punch. Really draw the belly button in as we shift our weight. Setting up this first round. In 3, 2, and go. Come down, push up. Exhale, punch, push up. Exhale, punch. Inhale as you lower. Exhale as you come up to the top. Keep breathing, we're already over halfway. Awesome, last 10. And we got 3, 2, and rest. Woo. Okay, this time for our bridges. I'm gonna have you switch halfway. We're gonna set up on single leg. If that's too much right now, you can always stay with both feet flat on the ground. If you can, we're gonna come up into that bridge hold. Bring one leg up just to hold. We're gonna bring our hands back down towards forehead and extend straight up. And that's like half open, switch on the other side. So we're gonna set this one up in 3, 2, and go. Roll with one leg, extend back, extend all the way up. Inhale, and exhale. Again, if the single leg's too much, you can always drop that leg and stay on both heels. Last 5, 3, 2, and then lower that leg, raise the other leg up. Second set, just bending and extending, squeezing that butt cheek on that stable leg, keeping those elbows in close. After planks and push-ups, you should really be feeling your triceps this round. Last 3, 2, and rest. Lower those weights, lower your hips. And then we're gonna roll back over into that high plank. This time on that knee pull cross, we're gonna alternate. So I'm gonna have you do one on your left, and then one on your right, then one on your left. Just going back and forth. Almost like mountain climbers. Setting this one up in 3, 2, and go. So we're gonna come in towards the elbow, cross, back to elbow, back out. Towards elbow, cross, back to elbow, back out. Inhale, and exhale. Keep breathing. You need to take a break at any time. You can always rest it out for a couple seconds. Get back into it when you're ready. If you need to just hold your plank, you can always just hold your plank. We're over halfway. Last 10 seconds here. 3, 2, and rest. Stretch those arms out. Okay, last set of our push-ups. This is going to be the most challenging. Again, at any time you just want to stay with regular push-ups, you can always practice that. For this last one, I'm going to have you set up in that push-up position. We're going to do one push-up, one plank, up, down, and then back to push-up. So you can alternate your arms each time. You may do this from your knees. Obviously, stay on knees. Just keeping the hips tucked under. This is our last round of push-ups. Setting this one up in 3, 2, and go. So you got one push-up, one low plank, back to high plank, back to push-up. Strengthening a lot of the wrists today. We'll stretch it out after. Awesome. Keep breathing. already over halfway. Should be able to get 3 more in. We got 5, 3, 2, and rest. Perfect. No more push-ups forever. We have one more round of our skull crushers. This one, obviously, we're still going to keep the dumbbells coming back. This one's going to take a little more coordination. So I'm going to have you march. Each time you extend the dumbbells up, you're going to lower the heel down towards the floor. Doing our best to keep those hips up. Every time you bring the arms back, bring the opposite knee in towards chest. It's going to be our last one with the skull crushers. We need to stay in regular bridge. Stay in regular bridge. I'm going to set this one up in 3, 2, and go. So we're going to bring one knee back, extend those weights up, other knee back, big exhale. Almost imagine using the power of the weights to push those knees back to the floor. Inhale, and exhale. Inhale, exhale. But still squeezing to keep those hips up. Awesome job, staying nice and neutral on those wrists. Keep breathing. Our last 10 seconds here. Push through that burn in the back of your arms. 3, 2, and rest. Perfect. Lower those weights. And we have one more set in our high plank. So for this one, we're going to skip the knee pull to the middle. I'm going to have you stay in regular cross climbers. So this one, you're going to step in your high plank. We're going to pull opposite knee towards opposite elbow. Just switching back and forth, skipping all of that middle motion. And that's it. Go as fast or as slow as you want. Last 40 seconds in this high plank. Setting this one up in 3, 2, and go. Go opposite knee to opposite elbow. Exhale. Every time we pull in. Awesome job. Keep breathing. Exhale every time we pull that knee in. We're so close. We're already halfway. Your last 15 seconds of plank. You can do anything for 15 seconds. Awesome job. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Last 3, 2, and rest. Lower onto your knees. And push our hips back over our heels. This first one, try to get your hands as flat as you can on the ground. Really pushing your palms into the ground. As you stretch your hips back over heels. This is going to help us slowly start to stretch out the back of your wrists, as well as your lats. And then I'm going to have you bring your left arm underneath your body, almost like you're giving yourself a hug, pushing that left elbow into the ground, and then doing your best to push against that arm, getting a nice stretch along the back of that left shoulder, a little bit in that rear deltoid as well. I'm going to bring that left out from under there, and then switch over to the right. Pressing that elbow down into the floor. Doing our best to press firmly against the ground to get a nice stretch along the back of that shoulder. And then bring that arm out from under. And then you come up onto your knees. Then we're going to roll over for butterfly. And then keeping those heels together, we're going to try to bring our chest down towards our feet. You take a couple deep breaths in here, starting to get that nice stretch along the inner thighs. After all of those planks and lunges, you may feel a little bit of a stretch in your low back. Then I'm going to have you straighten out your left leg right in front of you. I'm going to have you bring your right leg up and over the left, so it's coming to the outside of your knee. We're going to do a little bit of a twist, pressing your left elbow against the outside of your right knee. Really opening up through the chest here. You should feel a nice stretch along the torso. One more deep breath in here. And then we're going to come back to the center. This time, straighten out the right leg. We're going to keep them both extended straight out. I want you to try to reach for your toes. As you reach for your toes, press out against your fingertips. Obviously, you're going to feel a little bit of work in your hands. This is going to help us stretch out that top part of your wrists. If you need to alternate, you can always press through one foot and then through the other, kind of like when we pedal in our downward dog. And then we're going to come back up to center. And then I'm going to have you bring that left leg over the right leg, bring it to the outside of that knee, and then bringing the right elbow to the outside of that left knee. Getting a nice rotation through the chest and torso. I'm going to try to get a couple deep breaths in here. Awesome, and bring it back to the middle. I'm going to have you slowly stand up so we don't get dizzy. Okay, then I'm going to do one more set of our quad stretch, bringing that foot back behind your butt. This one also, you want to work on balance, keeping those knees together. You can hold just at your ankle rather than like your toe. You should feel a little more weight in your hand. That's also going to help decompress some of the work that we put into the wrist and the elbow. Perfect, and switch it to the other side. Bring the opposite foot back, do our best to hold, kind of with the ankle. Slight butt squeeze on that forward leg. Perfect, and last one, I'm going to have you try clasping your hands together so you're interlacing your fingers, and then you're going to press out, so you're pressing your palms forward. If this feels okay, I want you to try to reach up overhead, and then bring it right back down over chest. And bring it back overhead again. And then back over chest. I'm going to try two more like this, reaching all the way up. And back in front of chest. And last one here. And then bring those arms down. Awesome. We're going to take our 3 big deep breaths in. This first one, we're going to inhale as much as we can as we bring the head down towards the feet. We want to slowly roll up one vertebra at a time, stacking each one on top of one another as we exhale up to the top. Then reaching up again, another big inhale, fold it forward. And then exhaling as we slowly roll up. Then roll back to mid back, making your head the left side to come up. And then one more big deep breath in. And then exhaling as we slowly roll up. Perfect. You're so good.